In the last class, we started our inventory. So what did we do in the last class? How did we wanted our inventory model to be? Answer. How did you do? We did not use any Mongo there. We did not use any database. Then where did we store our data? Where did we store our data? In array, right? Then we performed all other operations on it. All right. Now the same exercise we would be doing using Mongo. I think I already talked about it, how we can do that. The same thing again. Let me show you up. This one, inventory. This time we are trying to deal with an database integration. Okay. So all other fields which we have done in the last class are common. So what I need at the end of the session, I wanted you to create an API which should be connected to an Mongo and perform the CRUD operations. What are the endpoints I needed? You see this, for creating any invoice, you use a post method, HTTP method, and this is an end URL I wanted, API. So similarly, reading, I wanted you to do with two things, one especially with an ID and with all. Okay, find one. All right. Update, how do you do update? Which HTTP method you would be using? Do you have update exclusively? You know, while you are using Postman or Thunder client, do you see update HTTP method directly there? What did you use then? Put is an HTTP method, use it for an update. Now try to invest some time. What is the difference between put and patch? What do you think? I'll ask this question again after some time. Invest some time on it while doing this piece. And delete operation with a specific ID. Alright, these are the deliverables you need to do by this end of the session. Alright, so as I said before, it was an array schema at that time. Now we are trying to take the same thing with an Mongo schema. You see here, our invoice number must be the unique and customer name, okay, and it is required for us, and billing address is required, exactly like the last time. Name and the billing address is important to us. We cannot, while you are sending your payload, I mean through your sending the JSON through post, you should not miss these two details. And also invoice number has to be auto incremented as usual. All right, and items, item name, quantity, price and amount. If you remember, what is this amount, everybody? What is this amount? What is the difference between this amount and this total amount? Do you remember that? What is this amount? For example, I ordered for laptop with 2 quantity, and each laptop is price of some 40K. What is your total amount there? 80K. I mean two pieces, I mean 2 quantity. Now along with these 2 laptops, I also ordered 1 mouse which is of 1000 rupees. Now tell me, what should I need to update? Is it an amount or total amount now? Your total amount should be the combination, I mean reduce the value of all the quantity and the price which you have in the cart, and that total amount should come and sit into the total amount. This amount is for individual product. That's why it is in the items place. Individual product along with a quantity. If it is in 1, multiply with n1. This total amount should be cart total price. We need to reduce what are the values you have in the cart to one amount. That should be your total price. Did I make sense? We discussed this already. Yes? Alright. And you know how do you do this, all of them then? connecting to the DB, local or Atlas. Today we are talking only within local. If you are interested within Atlas, yes, please use that URL as well if you wanted. I would like to show you an example within local. What is a local URL for your MongoDB? The support number. What would be before? Localhost colon 27017. That is a port number where your Mongo will be defaultly working on. Where is your MySQL working? On which port number? By default, MySQL works on which port number? You did not connect it before? 143? Are you sure? Check your here task manager. You can also check your services. You can see here MySQL. Now tell me. Check there. Check there. If you have your MySQL there already. Is it 80 or something else? 8080. By default, it will be on 8080 if I'm not wrong. Am I correct? Changes? Check. I don't want to deviate from to MySQL now. All right. And among these, my API responses must have few of things. My success message, my data, what it is. If it is an object, JSON object, that has to be written, and the message along with it. We are not checking the message. We are checking within our test cases. We'll check only within success messages or failed messages, the true or false thing, and the object, what you have written. For example, if you have posted something, that should go and sit into your database, and OK message, what does it return? That object I will be checking. Deleted, yes, why if you are deleting something, that OK message, and also what is an object deleted. All right, let me show you my working. Give me a moment.
Yeah, Bilahari, I have a question here.
Yes, please.
Now, if this particular exercise is given to students now, how many of them do you think they are able to do that?
Since we already covered most of it, and we also created endpoints, okay. I'm feeling those who are regular, they would do that.
Okay, no, just let me ask, how many of you will be able to do this exercise on your own? Only 1, 2, 3. Only 3 or 4, that's it? Okay, now if ChatGPT is given to you, then?
Immediately.
ChatGPT is given to you, then? Only few again, not all. Because let me just give you a glimpse on what this exercise was. This exercise was from Microsoft. This was for package 12, no, not 12, 48K, 48L. So this was the package, and this was the program which was given to the candidate to finish it in 2 hours. And they were given to use their own ChatGPT tool. So, you see, ChatGPT will be given, but the thing is how fast you do and how well organized you do. Please learn that. Ask questions here. Because I have taken this question and I importantly gave this question to Bilahari to please make students to expose this kind of questions. Go ahead.
And we'll begin the problem statement to you. You should work on it. And ChatGPT, you want ChatGPT for that? All right. Now, let me walk through my code now. No, before walking through, I would like to show you what all I'm expecting you to do. Again, one more time. Let me start I'm not using any node mod to start with the npm start. My database is connected to my server is running on 5000 and database is connected. Now let me check here. I don't know what. Okay. how do I, yeah, this is what. Localhost 5000 slash API slash invoices. If you remember my first endpoint, you see that I'm getting anything. I'm getting an empty one because I did not post anything. This is a fresh one. That was the first endpoint which was asked. Here, this one. Now let's try to post something. Let's try to post. And what is the status code associated with this? What would be? Are you giving some data to that? Are you updating or creating something? No, you are just retrieving. Retrieving may give you the two things, two status codes, either success or fail. On success, what would be the status code? We already discussed in the last class this 200. On failure, what kind of a failure it could be? Definitely not MongoDB failure here, because we already checked Mongo is connected. What kind of a failure it could be? Invalid. What's next? What did you say? Is it 400 or 404 or what? Tell me. When does 400 comes? When does 404 comes? When the resource is not available. When does 400 comes? Server cannot process request. What? No, now tell me what leads you to get the 400 here? You know, I'm getting a success message because everything is working code. What do you think? What scenario does this 400 comes? Any syntactical errors you are seeing? If syntactical error, while running this should get any syntactical error while I'm starting my server itself. When the server is down, pardon? Connection string went wrong, then mean MongoDB not connected, no? Invalid input, perfect. Do I get invalid input here? Now let's explore that one. I wanted to post something now. I have some ready-made data with me. Let me get some data. I'm posting some data now. Does it changes? Does my endpoint changes here? No. That is what it is expecting us to do. You see this? Get and post the home URLs should be the same. Only the method should change. It's a good practice to have it, please. I see you while you are practicing, when you are beginners, we might have taught you like something, read data and post data, something like this. But in real time, the URL would be the same, only your method changes. If you look at these two lines, just look at these two lines. Only method changes, not the endpoint. While learning, if you remember in 2.2 or something, we had the FSD sessions for you for 2 weeks. There we have taught you like create post or what was that? Housing one, right? Insert house or something, post house, get house, something, get all houses. That is not we wanted. That's just for beginners, that would be helping, but in real time, that is not how do we deal with it. Alright, my endpoints is same for post and the get. Only the method changes, please. Alright, so now I'm not changing my URL, my endpoint, just the method. Now, post expects some payload, some data to be given. Now, let's try to put something now. Where should I put? Where should I give some my data? Where? I know that is JSON. In the body, in the JSON. Alright. I'm pasting my, what did I copy it there? All my data. And if you observe, my customer name is required. I passed the name. You know, What is this name, right? I already talked about it. Billing address is also required to me as per my schema. And the items, everything. Alright. Did I pass my price over here? I mean to say a total. No. If you see, I only passed my quantity and the price of it. Total and what was that? One moment. Total, amount and total amount I did not do. I did not pass. That has to be calculated from this data. So I'm trying to send the data. Now you see this in the success messages. 200 is an okay. 201 isn't created. We created something new now. Data is success. Success messages. This is what we wanted as your API responses. Success and that message data. In this case, an object will be written. That's what it is returning here. All right. And the message invoice created. For your test case, we are not checking this one. Don't worry about that. Did I make sense on this? Now tell me, when does this 400 will come? Shall I post one more? Let me remove the name. You are not passing the required field, however. Does this make a required field? Empty string also is a string. So what if I click on send now? What will be my output? What will be my status? 201 again. Empty string is also a string, right? So I'm passing this. By now you should see here an error here. I'm passing an invalid input. That's what one of our friends said. Let's try now. I hope it should. Not working, or else what I'll do, I'll remove this entire thing. All right. Now let me send. No, it's not taking up. It's taking a little more time over here. Okay. Now let me walk through my code now. First thing, db.js, where I'm trying to connect to my, one moment. I hope this is visible. Require Mongoose. I already installed Mongoose over here. All right. And connect DB. You see Mongo colon localhost 270 and my DB name is Invoice DB. What if I give this URL to you if you do not have Invoice DB with you? It will be created. All right. And if you are taking from Atlas and there you will be seeing something like SRV if I am not wrong. SRV and CLI something that depends upon the what kind of an hosting you are trying to do within that Mongo, Compass and Atlas. I mean in the Atlas you will be seeing SRV. I know you are working with the projects. What does the SRV mean? There are two types of that. SRV is for production purpose. CLI is for the just a development thing, kind of a thing. You did not hosted that project yet. Okay, you know that difference also there. And I'm logging this. That's it. Export connect DB, where I'll be importing in my index.js. Everybody, any questions in this? Any questions in connect DB? No? Okay, let me import that in the index.js. I imported that one. And also, let me show you my routes as well. Get route. If everything good, find everything invoice.find. So this is where I wanted. Let me show you my schema then. What all it required? Let me walk through again. Invoice number, customer name, billing address. Invoice number is a number, billing address is a string, and customer name is also a string. You look at this, billing address is also string, and invoice number is a number. Now you see this, unique, yes. Customer name is required. I need that's a mandatory field, and required billing address is also required. Look at this, billing address and customer name is required over here, and my number is also a unique one, true. I cannot have the duplicate one. What if you delete one of the invoice in the future? That will be deleted, but it will not modify the indexes of that, like how did we do in that array way of doing. All right. I did not took my date over here. Ignore that one. You see my schema does not have the date at this moment. Oh, I'm sorry. I have the date. All right. In the initial thing, I did not have the date. All right. Now items. You see this items has multiple entries in it more. Item name, quantity, price, and amount. What did I do? Instead of writing that here, I created a separate schema for that. Just little about that. You see this? Item name, anything mandatory? No. Item name, quantity, price, and amount. And what type of a name should be? String. Quantity, price, amount are numbers. That's what I have done here. And I made these required fields. And quantity minimum should be the one, because if you are passing to a cart with 0 1, that will be out of the cart, right? So minimum isn't 0. Price minimum isn't 0. Usually price will not be 0. Why it is 0 now? Sometimes you apply coupons, right? You'll get flat 100% off kind of a thing. That's where I made that as a 0. All right. Now that I am passing over here, and the total amount should be a number, and it is also a required one. How does this total amount calculated? Again I say, what are the values you have put it into these items with an amount, that will be reduced to a single amount, because sometimes you may have the 10 items in a cart, all the values of that amount has to be reduced to a single one. I am using the proper terms, please reduce, please use those reduce method only. Alright. So this is my schema. I am imported that into the index.js again. My project structure remains same, please. The last one only. Last class, what did we have? The same project structure. So I imported the Express. Port number is 5000, where I am trying to run my middleware. I wanted everything to be in a JSON part. That's what I am trying to convert into the JSON requests. So imported all the invoices. Let me show you of my invoices again one more time. Invoices. One moment. Instead of take this here, invoice here. That's it. That is all what I like now. Invoices roots. Get, post, get something from the request body, destructure that into the 3 important items: customer name, billing address, and the items is an array. Now you see this, code does not change this, please. This is the exact code what we have done in the last class. Items.map, get each item and quantity into the price, take that to the amount. I mean to say, for example, laptop 2 quantity, price is 40k, which I had taken example before. That should be 80,000, and that should be taken to the amount. And calculated total amount should be what all the items and its amount values I am trying to calculate. Initially, it's an accumulated with a 0. All the items associated item value single amount, we are trying to reduce it to a single amount over here, and that should be updated to my total amount. So find one. If it is an post, insert, sort everything, determine the next invoice number, because invoice number has to be auto updated. Just get the previous one and also update to that. Everything, what are the values I have created, that should be inserted to as an object. And save, on success, 200, and something goes wrong with calculations or something, then get an 500 error. Similarly, ID, just find one, and your request URL will, where is that? Request URL will pass some ID to this /1 or 100 or something, and trying to read that one here through a request body, param ID and request.params.id, and find with along with that. If that is been available, return with a status code true and the data invoice. If it is not available, 404 error. Alright? I hope this is making sense, everybody. The remaining, if it itself, if we could not connect to the DB or something, we catch the error. Putting with an ID, updating, I mean to say update the user ID. Whatever you would like to update, just everything remains same. Alright, just only the put message. If it is updated, not updated, 404 error. If it is updated, 200. I hope this code I already given to you for the last class. Alright, this is one, the delete one. Be careful with the delete one. I suggest not to write the delete at this moment. We will write it at the end. Invoice number, find one or delete with the so and so thing, and the message remains same. So let's start. Anything to be re-explained. In this case, validation middleware we are not using. Only we are updating our invoice with an updated schema. We are updating our invoice routes. We are updating our index.js. Validation middleware which we used for our array representations, we are not using that at this moment. Anything to re-explain, please? Shall I start exercise? Start exercise. Huh? You want the code? Huh? First you try. Oh, you mean this one? You mean this one? This okay. Once I start the exercise, I have given the entire text there also. Text is already there in the problem statement. However, after the class, after stopping the exercise, I would share problem statement and code with you, like how did I do in the last class. Let me wait for 20 minutes. Srikanth sir has shared in the group 400 series and 500 series status codes. In addition to that, please look into 200 series and 300 series as well. If you want that, please let me know. I'll update that one and share with you all. Like this. Do you want me to share? It has only 400 series, 500 series. Do you want me to update with 200 series also? Okay. Afternoon I'll share that everything. Shall I stop it? So the test cases, if you are failing with couple of test cases, first test case is creating an invoice. Then, and also we are checking with that total amount and all of them while creating an invoice. Then get all the invoices with 200 status. You know, when you are getting invoices, definitely that would be greater than 0. Is there written with the 200 status code? Alright? Okay, let me unfreeze this so that you would understand. Don't concentrate on how to write them. For the first again, we are checking with creating an invoice with some payload John, which are required, only we pass it them. You see, there is a price of 1,050 price for the mouse, that is a 2 quantity. So what is the sum of them? Total amount would be 1100, 1,100. That's what we are checking that also. That means you have to calculate the total amount of this. Next, get all the invoices. It should be greater than 0 by then. Fetch by ID. All the 5 test cases which we are asked in the problem statement. Fetch by ID and the status code to be 200. And whatever you have passed with an slash ID number, that is matching or not, we are trying to check what you have written in the JSON. Next, update and update and invoice. Whatever you have updated, is it going to be that or not? Keyboard, I'm adding one more item to that, updating with an keyboard. Delete the invoice. All right, all these 5 test cases, each test case, each endpoint. If you are forgetting to call the total cost, that would not pass, please. Check on that also. All right. That means you are trying one each at a time. I understand. One test case each. Do you want me to share the solution now? Do you want me to share the solution now? You will be trying. If I share, you will copy paste. No? So that I would I would stop the exercise then. Shall I stop? 25 plus 15, 40 members are trying. On top of it, I already shared the PDFs with you all. Please check, cross check with the PDF where you are missing. Okay.